Mr. Rotimi Oyekanmi, who is the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, is still with us in the studio. Just before we went on break, we were talking about what INEC intends to do to curb the, would I say it's a new phenomenon? It's not new. It's been in our polity for a while, but it seems to now be taking on a dimension which was hitherto unseen. So you were saying that INEC is viewing this as a threat to democracy. I have seen a number of write-ups in recent times following what happened in Ekiti. Some people trying to justify it, some people saying that it really made no difference to the elections, considering that the major political parties were engaging in this, and that people largely voted for the people they wanted to vote for, despite whatever inducement they might have received. Some even said that they only received reward for doing what it was that they would have done in the very first place. Is INEC saying it in that light?
Of course, yes. You know, when we read narratives in the media or listen to people speak, I always say that people have not been able to give us the statistics, for instance, for Ekiti. We have 16 local governments, over 2,000 polling units. People have not come out to say we were in each of the local governments and we saw money being distributed. Therefore, X number of people received this amount of money and they voted for this party, and then it has affected the result, overall result, in relation to the total number of voters. Nobody has said that. But, well, why I say it's a threat is this. You know, even if across 16 local governments, you have it in 4 local governments, you know, people try to bribe voters, and then the security agents try to arrest those people. It causes commotion. That can stop voting in those places, and that will affect the election. We have a window of between 8 and 2 for all these processes before we start the counting and collation and announcement of results. So if you disrupt the election, that's going to affect the election. That's a threat, you know. So that's why these things are not really healthy. When people accuse security agents of not acting, sometimes when you want to make arrests, you also have to be tactical because you don't want to disrupt. If you arrest somebody there when others are looking, one person will not come and engage in that kind of act. He will come with his own people, and then the other people will say, oh, they are harassing our people, they want to arrest and all of that. And people also blame INEC. We have about 3, 4, 5 people to a polling unit. A lot of activities are going on during election. We are attending to people are on queue, and you know it's simultaneous accreditation and voting. We have people with special needs, the elderly and all that. We are attending to all these people. The smart card readers, people are trained to the procedure of authentication and all that is going on. And probably you have between 3 to 5 minutes per voter. And then you have all of that. And probably a minimum of 600, 700 persons to a polling unit. You won't have the time to now start looking out for those who are distributing money somewhere. You can see them and you can refer them to the security agents. But I think by and large, we need to create awareness about this. That it is wrong, it is criminal. And the Electoral Act actually says that, look, it's an offense. If you are convicted, you are liable to 12 months imprisonment or 500,000 naira fine or both.
What people are scared of is that it might be those who are selling their votes that might be the only people who will be caught. That the political parties who are the ones, you know, also trying to buy this vote might not be caught. But then what is also of great concern to a number of people is the manner in which is the level which this has gone up to, the fact that it's becoming more rampant. I mean, I remember some civil society organizations saying, if we thought we saw anything in Anambra, then, you know, we're in for, you know, that was child's play compared to what we saw in Ekiti, for instance. And then the fact that now the voters are rewarded after they must have cast their ballot. Before, we know that voters used to, you know, be offered inducement, but then people will say, oh, collect what it is, whatever it is that these people want to offer, but still vote your conscience. But right. Now, it would seem that you are only paid after you've shown that you have voted. Do you think this endangers the smaller parties, for instance, who might not have any cash to dole out, or even to maybe very good candidates who might not be able to, you know, do anything in that regard?
Well, honestly, not just the smaller parties, all of us will be affected. The process itself will be affected. You know, remember, you know, there has to be credibility in the process. You know, what we expect is that you come, you cast your ballot for the party of your choice without any form of inducement. The parties will have engaged in pre-election campaigns. They come with their manifesto. You look at the manifestos, if they align with your aspirations as a people, and then you vote. You know, but I think another thing that we are looking at, which we are planning, is the way, you know, it's secret ballot, secret open ballot. But, you know, how is it possible for people to open the ballot paper for somebody to see? You know, the cubicles will be redesigned in such a way that it will be impossible for you to show anybody. And then the fact that you need to fold your ballot before you put it there, there has to be a change in the process of folding the ballot. So you are not allowed to bring the ballot in an open manner in such a way that it will be clear to somebody some few meters away to see what you have done. So this is part of the process INEC is looking at the moment. And for the 2019 general election, these changes will be effective.
Now, how are we sure of that, considering the fact that our budget has not been approved? But that's another kettle of fish. I'm just wondering, some people talk about the fact that voters take their phones to the booths, and that was a big issue before now, as to whether or not people have the freedom. Because some people say that, oh, some voters also took pictures for the inducement stations that were some meters away from, you know, where things were happening, where the vote was actually taking place. They would use their phone, take the picture of who they voted for to show the people that this is who actually voted for. Can INEC do anything about that?
We can't regulate how these phones could be used. We can't ask people not to bring their phones because, again, it's still part of transparency. Because since Anambra, apart from the result sheets that we give to party agents, we also have posters where we enter all the details in the result sheets and then paste on each polling unit. So you can now take out your phone and take a picture and send. So by the time we are announcing results, it's already collated by your party agents, by stakeholders and all of that. But then nobody knew that it will come to this stage where people will now use the same phone to now snap for these purposes of vote buying. You can bring in your phone, but we will tell you you cannot use it in a particular manner, and you have to comply. You know, that can be done. We have the power to regulate. In as much as we cannot ask you not to bring your phones, we can tell you for this election, which we have the power to regulate on, you cannot engage in particular activities with these cell phones.